What happens when trust shatters and love turns into a ruthless game of revenge? One man, one family, one devastating secret. When his wife announces she's leaving him to return to a violent past, he doesn't break. Instead, he plans. A cold, calculated, unrelenting plan. Is this justice or vengeance? Step into a story where every choice comes with a price no one saw coming. Are you ready? Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. I sat at the breakfast table, coffee in hand, as the morning light poured in, illuminating everything around me. Imogen sat opposite me, her gaze flickering over the local paper, stirring her tea with a distracted intensity. Freya sat beside me, her eyes glued to her phone, a familiar mask of indifference etched on her face. The clink of utensils, the soft rustle of a newspaper, sounds that hung heavy in the air. 5 years of marriage, and our mornings danced in a delicate balance, both soothing and precarious. Imogen's past was a storm of pain before our paths crossed. Her divorce from Gideon felt like a waking nightmare. Trapped in chaos, she fought to escape after his arrest for the brutal beating during a drunken rage. It carved deep wounds, some bare to the eye, others hidden in the soul. She seldom mentioned those days, yet the tension in her voice at the mere mention of his name revealed everything. I entered her world just months after that final page turned. We crossed paths at a dinner party, both reluctant to be there, yet fate had other plans. That night, everything changed. Her laughter lifted the room, and when I spoke, she truly listened. After a year of love, we said, "I do." Freya, just 17, was included in the deal. I entered knowing the challenge ahead, being a stepfather to a girl like Freya, so fiercely guarded. She was courteous, yet an impenetrable barrier loomed between us, leaving me helpless to bridge the gap. I can't hold it against her. Not truly. I'm not her father, and I've never pretended to be. I've fought hard to fit in, to carve out a space in their lives that feels just right for us all. I care for them deeply, love them fiercely, yet I know Freya may never see me as more than her mother's husband. Guess what? I'm okay with it. For months, Imogen has seemed like a ghost in our home. The warmth we once knew has faded, leaving only a chilling void between us. Small moments have stacked. Intimacy fades. Conversations dwindle, and her endless excuse of exhaustion looms large. Her phone never leaves her grasp, her gaze locked on the screen. I see how quickly it disappears the moment I walk in. Nothing has changed. I see through the facade. These are glaring warnings, impossible to ignore. I wanted to believe in her, to trust her. But doubt crept in. Perhaps it was the weight of it all. Perhaps it was my actions, or my inactions, that led to this moment. As weeks morphed into months, the relentless voice in my mind grew impossible to silence. I made my choice, no matter the cost. I brought in a private investigator. $2,000 spent, and the truth was finally revealed. Finding the truth demands a price, but the cost is nothing compared to the weight of revelation. The truth hits hard. She's been seeing Gideon, her ex-husband, the very man who shattered her, the one I believed she'd finally escaped. Today is finally here. I can feel the weight of Imogen's intentions closing in on me. And just like that, it began. Imogen folded the paper, her fingers trembling over its edges, seeking strength in its fragile lines. Her gaze locked onto mine, lips sealed in tension. until the silence shattered with her words. "Rupert, I need to tell you something," she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. I placed my coffee mug down, my gaze locked onto hers. "Oh, yes, dear. Please proceed," I urged, my voice unwavering. She lingered, fingers trembling at the edge of the tablecloth. "I'll be gone for a month," she said, her voice slicing through the stillness like a knife. I remained composed, leaning in just a bit. "Okay," I replied. Her shoulders tensed, and she shrugged again, as if preparing for impact. "I'll be gone for a month." "I'll be staying with Gideon," she declared, her voice steady, drawing strength from her own words. "His birthday month is here, and I'm determined to make it unforgettable for him." I sank into my chair, her words crashing over me like a tidal wave. My face remained still, yet a fire ignited within me. I held my composure as I answered. As I started, my voice trembled with a quiet urgency. "What will you do there?" "Scrubbing surfaces, preparing meals, and sharing intimate moments. Why can't he just pay for a moment of pleasure and find some relief? Why does my wife have to be that kind of partner?" "Text," I declared, my voice cutting through the air as I took a sip of my coffee, determined to keep my feelings in check. Her eyes flared, and she snapped, "What the hell are you saying? I'm not a hooker or a maid. I'll stand by him like a true wife." I placed my coffee cup down, each movement heavy with intent. My voice trembled, fighting for steadiness. "You are my spouse. How can you not see that what you plan with him is a betrayal, a fracture in our vows?" She stood firm, unwavering. She locked eyes with me and said, "No, because I told you. It's not betrayal." I nodded, her logic's absurdity crashing down on me like a heavy burden. "What do you want from me? Stay put for a month while my wife lives a lie with someone else?" Her frustration erupted. Her voice crackled with frustration. "Rupert, please. I have needs that only Gideon can satisfy." "Okay," I retorted instantly, "like binding you to a bed and striking you with a whip? Are you referring to those cravings?" I was fully aware of her cravings. The texts and videos revealed everything. The images burned in my mind, haunting me forever. I wore a mask of calm, but beneath it, fury boiled, ready to erupt. I locked eyes with her and asked, "So, you have desires. What about my own? Will I have the chance to nurture my deepest longings?" Frustration surged through her as she threw her hands up. "Do as you please, but when I return, you will be my devoted husband once more." I leaned in, my voice icy and measured. What if my cravings go unfulfilled after 30 days? What unfolds next? What if I discover something that fulfills me so deeply I no longer yearn for your presence? Is that okay with you? Her face contorted with irritation, but before she could speak, I shifted my gaze to Freya, who had been silently observing the whole scene. "What's your take, Freya?" I inquired, my tone unwavering yet piercing. "Is it worth it for your mother to gamble her marriage for a fleeting month with her new lover?" Her smirk was a challenge, her words sharp. She had needs, desires that demanded attention. She is not yours to possess. She belongs to no one, free to quench her thirst wherever she chooses. Her tone struck me like a sharp blow. It was evident Freya was fighting for her mother. She delighted in sending me straight to hell. She was anything but neutral. She was immersed, heart racing. She was entangled. Text. Her gaze revealed everything. Her voice trembled with unspoken truths. She was intertwined with this, just like Imogen. I held the entire truth within me. Freya was headed to Gideon's house as well. A dark twist gripped my insides, yet I masked it all with a calm facade. I lifted my hands, a silent plea for peace. If this is what you both desire, I won't stand in your way. Imogen's smile twisted, a smug satisfaction that cut deeper than any words could. But I had more to say. With a steady voice, I pressed on. Yet, Imogen, please sign this document confirming our official and legal separation for the next 30 days. I refuse to take on any financial or other responsibilities for you or your daughter during that period. At last, I will be unbound, free to pursue my deepest yearnings. Imogen's gaze pierced through me. Her tone dripped with doubt. What's the mechanism behind that? I reclined in my chair, masking the storm within. I'm calling my lawyer. Now he'll prepare the documents, and tomorrow we'll face the court to seal our fate. Clear. I stopped, letting my words hang heavy before I added a hint of sarcasm. I'm paving the way for you. You can spend the next 30 days with Tom, Dick, or Harry, and it won't be cheating, as we'll be apart. A faint smirk tugged at the corner of my lips as I pressed on. And I, in turn, can fulfill my desires, free from any restraints. Her eyes narrowed, suspicion igniting on her face. Is there something I'm overlooking? What drives you to this? I stood up, gazing down at her, filled with unwavering resolve. Imogen, your words reveal it all. You wouldn't have held back. I won't stand in your way. I offered her a fleeting smile, knowing this moment could ignite my deepest longings. Freya smirked. Mom, it's a brilliant idea. I had no idea Rupert could stand by you in such a way. I faced her, my serene smile countering her arrogance. You can't even begin to imagine. I stepped out, phone gripped tightly, silence hanging heavy in the air. I called my lawyer and said it plainly. Make it happen. As afternoon settled in, my lawyer faced Imogen in our living room, documents laid out like a tense battlefield. Without a glance at the papers, she seized the pen and signed with a bold flourish, her confidence electrifying the air around her. I leaned back, eyes fixed on her, and as she finished, a faint smile flickered across my lips. It's over now, I stated calmly, and it will be complete by tomorrow. That night, I whispered to Imogen that I was going out for a drink. I walked away. No words, no justifications, just silence. I returned hours later, sober but careful to slip in unnoticed, avoiding her completely. The following morning, we stood in the courtroom, hearts racing. Imogen stood beside me, calm yet fierce, her confidence radiating like a beacon. The judge scanned the document, his face betraying nothing. Mrs. Imogen Wilson, did you have this document reviewed by your attorney? He asked, his gaze piercing through the papers. For the next 30 days, your husband is free from any obligation to support you or your daughter financially, and he can choose his own path. Is this all right with you? She nodded, unwavering. Indeed, Your Honor. The judge shrugged, a mere acknowledgement, and said, Okay. That evening, Imogen moved through the bedroom with a frenetic energy, packing her bags like a storm brewing, a spark I hadn't witnessed in ages. Her face radiated joy, a sharp counterpoint to the heavy tension that had suffocated our home. I lingered by the door, arms crossed, eyes fixed on her, my face a mask of indifference. Her gaze met mine, pure exhilaration radiating from her. Thank you, Rupert. Words can't capture my joy. I promise to make it right when I return. Her words teetered on the edge of absurdity, yet I held my ground. I offered a faint smile and said, Oh, don't worry about it. I will find my joy. I turned and walked away, my steps firm, But my mind spun in chaos. All was in place. Every detail matters. The moment had come to set the plan in motion. I've always seen myself as a man of reason, someone who suppresses feelings and zeroes in on practical answers. Today, as I stood there, an unfamiliar ache pierced through me, a gnawing sense of loss threatening my very resolve. I had lost so much more than Imogen. It was profound, elusive, and unyielding. Yet she had shattered our marriage long before this moment arrived. Every ounce of time, energy, and money I invested in helping her daughter has vanished into thin air, leaving nothing but a sense of futility. The car I bought for her daughter, the college fund I toiled for, all in vain. What's the point? How dare her daughter smugly declare that I don't own her mother? It's just awful. When has life ever guaranteed ease? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Every choice ignites a counterforce. The universe's truth remains, and now I will demonstrate it through my response. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Imogen and her daughter departed for Gideon. I stood there, heart heavy, waving them off, a final farewell lingering in the air. They needed to witness that farewell. As soon as they vanished, I hurried to the kitchen and seized the bottle of Jack Daniels from the cabinet. I filled my glass, ice clinking, and took a tentative sip, feeling the heat of the alcohol cascade down my throat. This was the sole thread of familiarity in the chaos. With trembling hands, I dialed the number. The moment had arrived. "It's finished," I declared, my voice unwavering. "Let the show begin." The dawn broke, and clarity surged within me. The car I had bought for my wife's daughter was the first to vanish. It was a Honda, a car she had adored at first sight, despite her complaints about the color. Her words fell flat, but the truth lingered in the air. Hard break. She could choose any color for her next car, and with a flicker of hope, she thought of her father, Gideon, making it a reality. I focused on my wife's beloved car. She wore it like a crown, pretending it was the greatest gift I could ever give. Such a pity. He gave everything, yet she never saw him. For the next 30 days, Gideon will take care of her rides. No longer will I be the source of your solace. The house loomed large, overwhelming in its emptiness. For years, their complaints echoed in my mind. They yearned for something intimate, a snug haven, just like Gideon's home. They're already trapped in this reality. Why not make it last forever? They won't return to this, not for a long time. By day's end, I held it all, $2 million, or more precisely, safely tucked away in my offshore account. Enough is enough. At last, freedom was mine. No chains, no barriers, just pure, unrestrained desire. 3 days slipped by, and the silence hung heavy, almost serene. Then the phone rang once more. It was Imogen, a name that echoed with unspoken weight. Her voice trembled, a fragile facade of control, yet the panic seeped through unmistakably. I called the house. Silence swallowed my voice. "Where are you now?" A smile crept across my face, the irony striking deep. I lifted my drink, savored the moment, and responded without hesitation, nurturing my deepest yearnings. I hung up, silencing her before she could say another word. That evening, my phone buzzed relentlessly. Imogen fell, then Freya followed. They kept calling, over and over. Fury radiated from them, a frantic energy palpable in the air. I sensed the reason deep within me. They must have seen the bank's notifications by now. The joint account lay bare. The college fund vanished. Their voices trembled with disbelief, and I felt the weight of their shock. They were blindsided, lost in the chaos. How could I nurture my desires when every penny was locked away in those accounts? Yet I hesitated to answer right away. The calls persisted, but I remained silent. Let them simmer. Let them grapple with the chaos I created. 3 agonizing days of relentless ringing pushed me to finally pick up the phone. "Hey, Imogen, how have you been?" I spoke, my voice steady, almost indifferent. "Apologies, I was caught up in fulfilling my own needs, so I missed your calls." She unleashed everything. Words like daggers, blame like chains, guilt that suffocates. They surged forth, unstoppable and overwhelming. Words that shocked and bewildered, leaving me in a state of disbelief. She was justified in her fury. I never sought compassion. I sat in silence, heart racing, anticipating her final words. When her voice faded, I felt the moment had arrived. Maybe now isn't the moment for words. Goodbye. I ended the call, cutting her off completely. It stretched on for 5 relentless days. 5 days of her screams, each call more desperate than the one before, and me just hanging up. It felt inevitable now. Yet on the 6th day, as I reached for it, everything changed. Her silence screamed. Her fury wasn't directed at me, yet her voice held a haunting calmness. She demanded, "Why did you steal all the money?" I reclined, savoring the moment before responding. "Staying in a 5-star hotel in Jamaica comes with a hefty price tag. How can I afford this without draining your daughter's college fund that I contributed to? What is happening? It was everything I ever wanted. How could you betray me like this?" Fury coursed through her veins. "I wanted you to stay true to me." It all fell apart. A vacation in Jamaica, accompanied by a young blonde Russian woman. The thrill of the unexpected awaits. Imogen's voice shattered with rage as she screamed, "This won't end well for you. When I return, you will regret it." Her rage seared through the phone, a wildfire consuming everything in its path. Honestly, it barely touched me. I saw it coming. She always took things too far. The familiar chaos unfolds again. Yet, it was a feeling I wasn't ready to confront. I had no desire for conflict. Never with her. Alone. Always alone. I inhaled sharply, gripping the phone tightly. "Text. I suppose you're upset," I replied, my voice steady, unnervingly steady. "I can't handle this feeling right now." Before she could utter another word, I ended the call. Her threats had lost their power. Not today. Almost a month had slipped away, and now the moment had come to advance to the next stage of my scheme. I stepped onto the plane, heart racing, knowing this journey meant everything. It was more than a mere escape. No, this was monumental. Thailand. During my time as a software analyst, I was often presented with a partnership opportunity at a firm in Bangkok. I dismissed it then, convinced I needed nothing else. With nothing anchoring me back home, nothing of value remaining, I thought, why not take the leap? I had said yes, and now I was on the path ahead. The plane ride stretched on, a canvas for my thoughts, each moment heavy with the weight of my journey. As the wheels hit the ground, a wave of relief washed over me. I chose my path. I had let go. Bangkok welcomed me with open arms. I powered on my phone and dialed my lawyer without hesitation. Today, she returns. Deliver my gift to her? Please. The moment had arrived for all to be revealed. That evening, Imogen and Freya arrived at what once felt like home. Their faces flashed in my mind, a mix of shock and disbelief at what lay ahead. A man stood at the door, poised and expectant. He moved toward them, exuding a quiet intensity. "Excuse me, are you Mrs. Imogen Wilson?" he inquired. She nodded. Confusion and dread etched across her face. Your time is up. He passed her the manila envelope, stepped back, captured the moment with a snap, and vanished into silence. That fleeting image, frozen in time, was the most breathtaking sight I'd encountered in ages. Imogen stood there, the envelope trembling in her hands, her face collapsing as tears streamed down. And Freya! She stood there stunned, eyes darting across the driveway. "Man, where's my ride?" she asked, her voice trembling. The call came just as I knew it would. I let the calls go unanswered, only reaching for her number once I was safely cocooned in my hotel room. No words were necessary. She answered right away, and before I could speak, she erupted. "Your honor is a facade. Jealousy burns within you for Gideon. Your ego was too much to bear." Her voice pierced the air, a relentless barrage of familiar insults, the kind every unfaithful wife hurls when exposed. I let her speak, holding my breath. I stood my ground, unyielding. I heard it all. This time, I would stay on the line. I was facing it head on. I stood in silence, heart racing, longing for my moment. "Did you dare to open the envelope?" I inquired, my voice unwavering. A heavy pause lingered, then the sharp crackle of paper broke through. Inside were the haunting images of her and Gideon, entwined in passion, marked by time and place, even those moments when she was bound to the bed. You knew all along," she whispered, her voice trembling at last. "Oh yes," I replied, my voice steady. "I did it." I could feel her grappling with it, the truth pressing down hard. "Since you chose your path, I ensured you'd walk it to the end. You let me go," she whispered. "Why would I ever hold you back? Your choice to betray shattered our vows. Why would I pick a lying traitor over a getaway in Jamaica?" The following step felt almost effortless. "The divorce is underway, marked by betrayal, and I've left some cash in the joint account. I hope this is enough to get you to Gideon's house." The tension crackled, anger seeping through, yet I remained unfazed. The game had shifted, and she felt the weight of loss. Her voice pierced the silence, raw and filled with desperation. "You left your daughter with nothing. How will she make it to college?" I plunged in without a second thought. "She refuses." I fired a retort. "Not with my cash." "She isn't mine. She has shown it over and over. She'll attend college, fueled by her father's wealth." A heavy silence hung in the air before the phone was yanked from my grasp. Freya's voice pierced through, unleashing a torrent of screams and insults that hit me like a storm. I understood the weight of this moment. It hit me hard. This was the final exchange, the last echoes of their voices fading away forever. I survived it. Then, with a voice trembling in fury and shock, Freya exclaimed, "You sold my car." "No, I let my car go." I fired a response, unwavering. "You stole my future." Her voice trembled with desperation as tears streamed down her face. The bitterness surged, unstoppable. "No," I said, my voice icy. "I secured the funds for my dream Jamaican getaway, but in the end, it was just money, and I reclaimed it." In that moment, I shot back. "Just like you said, your mother can drink from any watering hole. So can I." Her scream pierced the air, trembling with raw anger and deep frustration. What can I say to my friends? My car vanished. I stood my ground, unyielding. My stepfather, a total loser, sold it for his Jamaican getaway. Now, I'm heading back to my real dad for the winter. Imogen's heart raced as she yanked the phone away, breathless silence hanging in the air. Her voice cut through the silence, sharp and laden with blame. "You took what was ours. I'm calling the police." "Text, go on," I urged. My tone is utterly serene. You signed that document, releasing me from any financial obligation to you. In just 30 days, I blew it all. Now, I'm empty. I'm broke, she fired back, disbelief lacing every word. Do you expect me to trust that? I smiled, a flicker of warmth in the cold. Believe me or not, but in court, the truth will emerge. I hung up, a quiet finality hanging in the air. For anything else, contact my lawyer. The envelope holds his number. Wishing you a wonderful day, Imogen. Days passed, and I sensed Imogen would resist the divorce. Yet, I trusted my lawyer to navigate the storm. Imogen accused me of knowing about her secret stay with her ex-husband and giving it my blessing. My lawyer unveiled the images, marked with timestamps and locations, all before the agreed 30 days. My lawyer stated, Your Honor, that Mrs. Wilson's affair with Mr. Hawthorne began before these 30 days, which clearly defines her betrayal, as Mr. Wilson was oblivious to her deceit. The assertion that my client was aware and consented to her infidelity with her ex-husband is untrue. She betrayed him, shattering the trust they once shared. My lawyer swiftly revealed that I had poured every single dollar into vacations in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands. Every last detail captured. Everything was real. Mrs. Wilson relinquished her financial duties during the 30 days spent with her ex-husband. The judge, however, was far from naive. He sensed the air thick with manipulation and deceit, yet he felt utterly powerless. The paperwork was flawless, every legal step taken with precision. His hands were tied, shackled by the law's constraints, yet he pierced the thin veil of deception. He commanded that every remaining asset be resolved with precision. In that moment, Imogen's lawyer, filled with urgency, attempted to raise the issue of child support, but my lawyer refused to let that happen. He objected sharply, his voice unwavering. He revealed the stark reality. Freya was never my daughter, neither by blood nor by law. I had never adopted her. And the judge understood this vital truth that made child support meaningless. My lawyer pressed on, relentless. He made a daring choice, deepening the madness of it all. He claimed I had abandoned all my worldly duties, opting instead for the life of a Buddhist monk. Empty hands, free spirit, no ties. The defense was bold, yet it succeeded. The judge, stone-faced throughout, nearly burst into laughter at the absurdity unfolding before him. He shot a look at Imogen, a smirk dancing on his lips, revealing his delight. Bad luck, lady, he chuckled, struggling to contain his amusement. His words pierced the silence of the courtroom, sealing their fate. I can't assist you anymore. The divorce is finalized, and Imogen receives the joint account funds. A month post-divorce, I discovered that Imogen and Freya had taken up residence with Gideon. The truth, though, shattered their dreams. It shattered their dreams of a perfect family. Once again, Imogen found herself trapped in the suffocating grip of a familiar, destructive cycle she desperately sought to break free from. In a haze of alcohol, Gideon unleashed his fury on Imogen once more, echoing the torment of their past. But I suppose Imogen craved the intensity. What about Freya? She stood there, a mute observer, utterly helpless against the tide of despair. Imogen was trapped in his grasp. Alone, she wandered, abandoned, and lost. She was ensnared, caught in the haunting nightmare I had once endured. Freya now walks to school or catches the bus. All comfort stripped away. No more smooth sailing. Their solace had vanished. What about Gideon? My revenge on him was never intended to be brutal. It was everything. I gave him exactly what he craved. He had to nurture his new family now. His wife, for 30 days, and her daughter, all depending on him. He must face the fallout of his choices. He must confront the chaos he unleashed. I had delivered precisely what he craved. Yet it demanded a heavy toll. Be wary of your desires. They may lead you to unexpected places. Thanks for watching this story on Addy's Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more. And until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.